Okay, this is the second video for the first lesson in geometry. I'm going to go over the examples and a couple of the problems in the book. So let's get started. I'm looking at example on page 388. It says in the figure ABCD, the opposite sides are parallel. So that is shown right here. AC, 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 and segment BD are parallel. That's what this says right here. And then AB and CD are parallel. So they are parallel. I know that angle B is 110 degrees. And they want me to find the angle for A. So here's what I know. I know that if I look at this, it's got two sides, opposite sides that are parallel. So therefore, this is a parallelogram. So I know that angles directly across from each other are equal. So I know that angle C is 110 degrees. I also know, since it is a four-sided figure, that if I add up all four angles, they add to 360. So that means that 110 plus 110, right, because that would be angle B, and then angle C, is equal to angle A plus angle D. That's equal to 360. The other fact that I know is because this is a parallelogram, the angles across from each other are equal. So I know that angle A and angle D are the same. So adding these two together gives me 220 degrees. And I could call this X. And this would also be X because it would be the same, and that's equal to 360. So at this point, I've got 1x, 2x. I'm going to subtract the 220 from both sides. And that gives me 2x equals 140. I divide by 2, and x is 70 degrees. So the question was, what is the measure of angle A? The measure of angle A is 70 degrees. Okay. Looking at this next problem, I think that you should stop the video now. Try on page 389, try 1 through 10. Remember, the answers are in the back of the book, and check those. And then try 11 and 12, 13 and 14, which I'm going to do right now. So you can come back to it after you're done and see how I did them. Okay, hopefully you have done these problems or at least given them a try. What I like to do is label them with as much information as I know. So when I'm looking at this drawing for 11 and 12, it says angle F, right here, is 20 degrees more, means add, 3 times H, 3 times the measure of H. What is the measure of F? Okay, well, this is not a rectangle. It's not a parallelogram because they didn't tell me that this side and this side were equal. It is a four-sided figure, so I know that the total of all of the angles is 360. I know that this angle and this angle, because of the square in it, that they're each 90. So I know 90 plus 90. I know angle F, yes, is related to angle H in this way. So if I was to call this X, then this would be 3x plus 20. So if I'm going to add all four angles together, it's 90 plus 90 plus x plus 3x plus 20. Because it said it was 20 more than 3 times the measure. So now it's my job to solve this algebraic equation. I've got 90 plus 90, which is 180 plus 20, 200. And then I've got 3x and x, so that's 4x. So now I have an algebraic equation that I can solve. I can subtract the 200 from both sides. And I get 4x equals 160. Then divide by 4. And I get x is 40 degrees. Now, here is the tricky part. You can see that 40 degrees is written down as one of the answers. They asked me for what was the measure of angle F. F is up here. First thing, if this is 90, this is more than 90, looking at the drawing, right? That is not 40 degrees. That's this one here. So what I need to do is put this into this equation here to get what angle F is. So we're going to say 3 times 40 plus 20. So that's 120 plus 20 is 140. So 140 degrees is answer C, which makes more sense because looking at how wide this is opened, 90 degrees would be about there. So clearly it's more than 90, so it's not the 40. And 140 is very plausible answer. So I know I did that right. Number 12, it's just saying in the book, in order for us to know this is a trapezoid, well, you have to know the definition of trapezoid, right? And we talked about trapezoid before. And trapezoid had one pair of parallel sides. So given the multiple choice here, what am I looking for? For it to be a trapezoid, do E and EF and FH have to be the same? Do EF and FH have to be the same length? No. Does EF have to be parallel to GH? Yes. You have to have one parallel side. And then just look at the other ones. The measure of angle F and the measure of angle H have to be the same side. They're not. G and F be the same? No, that is not happening in a trapezoid. So the answer to this one would be B, because you need one set of parallel sides. So the trick is to know the definition of each of those figures. Okay, now I am looking at number 13. So 13 has got a figure, and they tell us that this side, this side, this side, and this side is 5 centimeters. So at this point, I've got 4 equal sides. It's either a rhombus or a square. And then if you look back at the definition, a rhombus has 4 equal sides, but a square has 4 right angles. So if this angle is 90 and this one is 90, these are both right angles. These will be right angles too, because the sides across are the same. So this has 4 right angles and 4 equal sides. Therefore, this is a square. So the question that they ask us, if the opposite sides in the If the opposite sides are parallel, what is the measure of R? Well, if these are parallel, then that is going to make this a square. So therefore, angle R has to be 90 degrees C. Okay, let's look at 14. 14, I read the problem and it said the sides were 10, 15, 10, and 15. So this is what I drew at first. And then I read the part about no right angles. So the drawing I drew looked like they had right angles. So now I tried to make it not look like right angles. And they wanted to know what that figure was. Well, a rhombus. A rhombus has 4 sides that are same length, so it's not a rhombus. A rectangle. That would be when opposite sides are parallel, but it has 4 right angles, and this has no right angles. It's not a rectangle. A parallelogram. This is when you have opposite sides that are parallel. So that's what this one would be, because this one has opposite sides that are the same length. And the opposite angles are equal. So they're saying this angle equals this angle, which is what's going to cause this to be parallel. So therefore, it's a parallelogram. It's not a trapezoid because it is a parallelogram. It has 2 opposite sides that are parallel, because if these 2 angles are equal, that makes these 2 lines parallel. So it is going to be C, a parallelogram. Okay, make sure that you look up the answers for the other ones on page 682 in the back. I will be back tomorrow and we can talk about whatever questions you have. All right, thanks for sticking with me. Bye.